Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. Whatever time it is for you, I'm Cyclone. It's time for more Let's Play Train Simulator Classic. We're going to pick up where we left off last time on Long Hop as we continue our journey towards Newcastle. No, not to York. Sorry, to York. Now we need to check our routing as we come out of the yard just in case something is amiss here. So let's pop back here very quickly and verify that everything is where it should be. We're going where we need to be. So let's pick up our journey as we are being junctioned off towards the line on the right, and we're going to continue our journey. Now we have done the first major stop along the way. We have one more place we need to go. We have another wagon drop off and pick up to complete down in the Darlington area. Once we're done down there, we're going to proceed to our final destination. So the high-speed travel is still to come here. Going to be a little bit slow until then. We're still going to have some 65, 75, 85 areas up to Darlington, but the fast part comes after that as we go from Darlington to, a little bit after Darlington actually, towards York. I hope you enjoyed part one of the scenario, and this is going to be the conclusion. We're going to do the rest of it in one shot. I'm going to be a little forward here and say that this is the second time I've recorded this part of the scenario. The first part is exactly as you're seeing when I record it live. The problem is that when I went to record the second part and I was in the middle of the scenario at Darlington, I accidentally slipped, must have accidentally somehow pressed my hotkey to end the recording. I don't know why or how that happened because I don't remember touching it. So the recording just suddenly stopped, and as I was doing the switch between 2 yards at Darlington, so I have to do that over again. I have to do it all over again, and since it was only about 17 minutes out of a 60-minute run, I just decided, you know what, I have to do the 17 minutes anyway. I'm just going to do the whole thing from scratch. So this is going to be a live shot, second time doing this. I do know there was a point where his signal was unnecessarily red for me as well, and I had to request approval to pass that. Hopefully that signal is not red on this occasion. I'll let you know if that happens, but I did not see it on the previous journey, so it might have just been a bug with the signal in that run of the scenario, and that was probably all it was. We will find out. But that buggy signal was approaching Thirsk, so we're going to find out if that happens again. I should probably put the throttle up a bit higher here, maximize it. While we're again going, let's take a quick look at what we have left of our journey here today. We are starting right here, as you can see, we started back at the yard back there. So we're going to continue from there, going via Darlington South Gate. We're going to enter Darlington. We're going to make our way through the gate area down to this area, which is where I accidentally stopped recording last time. We're going to do some swapping of cars, then we're going to make our way all the way down to York. And we're going to eventually move into this siding here. We're going to continue down. Then we're going to make our way down to Sign 22. We're going to uncouple there. That's going to be the end of the day, right next to York Station. So that's the rest of our journey. We're now up to 58 miles per hour. Getting to 60. So I believe Darlington is the next station we're going to see, then North Allerton, and then Thirsk. Now, because we had trouble with the other junctions at the other yards that we were in, both at Newcastle and at where we just started, as we came into there, because we had problems at both those yards with junctions being set against us, one trying to drive us completely off the track, thank you yard workers for being idiots, I suspect we're going to have problems at Darlington as well with how we're being routed there, so I'm going to check that as we get closer. I'm going to check York as well. This is rated as a level 4 scenario, which they're calling hard, and I think having all the junctions set against us is really how they made it hard. It's kind of like an artificial hard because it's not realistic to have everything set against us like that. So I have a feeling that was just a case where something like that was done just to make it seem hard when it actually shouldn't be that hard. Now, back in the day, the AWS ramps did not warn us of speed limit changes. We have to be aware of the signs ourselves. We saw that warning for a 65 coming up. Therefore, I'm going to go ahead and put a small brake on now as we're getting closer to the start of the 65 area. And there we are. We're down in time to the 65 we need to be at. And there's the sign for it right there. Technically, we would have been marked as still going a 66 and a 65, but that's not considered speeding. When you're 2 over the limit, that's when you're marked as speeding. So we're okay here. We lost a little bit of speed there. I've reapplied the throttle to 44%, which is probably a little higher than I wanted to set it right now. So I'm going to go ahead and ease that back to about 21% right now. Green signal continues. Maybe noticing how the 4 aspect signal is set up. We have a yellow light above a green light, above another yellow light, above a red light. So the red light is on the bottom at the lowest level because the engineer needs to be aware when they need to stop. So that's the whole logic behind that. Put it at the lowest level where they're most likely to see that red signal. Which doesn't seem to make sense from a distance because you're going to see it all from a distance anyway, but still. So you can see that we're now at a speed limit of 80 miles per hour. We're currently up to about 71 miles per hour. So even 70 coming up, and I probably should have stopped my speed increase a little earlier, but we still have plenty of time to slow down. So we should be alright here. In fact, just to be safe, let's put a small brake application on now. Oh, warning for the 70, only 0.2 of a mile away from the sign. Yep, that's plenty of time. Yes, that's not a lot of warning for the 70 coming up. So we're now about 3.5 miles, a little over that actually, from the Darlington South Gate 3, which is where we're going to enter the Darlington area. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and just continue to coast at this point, because I see no reason to really do anything else. We're probably going to start getting yellow signals in a moment. So I'm going to have to slow down anyway. Looks like it's still a green signal right now, so I'm going to go with the map for a second. Just take a quick peek up at, there's the yellows up ahead, I see them. So taking a quick peek where we need to go, we're going to South Junction 1. I don't think we're set for that road yet. Or are we? No, I think this is where we need to go right here. We're going to need to set that switch. This will need to be set, and that's where we're going in. So that's exactly where we need to go. So we're now set for the correct junction. I'm going to go ahead and continue to coast because we know there's going to be yellows veering us off in a moment. Flashing yellows, most likely, are what we're going to see. Problem is that I do not see a signal yet. I think the flashing yellows are not working on this route. I think I remember that from the previous stop that we made. There it is. So normally this, I'm going to pause here. Normally when you see a signal that's blank like this, this would mean that you treat it automatically as a red because you have no idea what's going on. But we know there's a bug in the early routes of the game where flashing yellow signals do not work. So this would actually be a flashing double yellow signal. We can proceed past this signal. Now the next signal is going to automatically be a flashing single yellow signal for that very same reason. So we're going to see that flashing single yellow signal, just again not doing any flashing because we know it's a bugged signal. And the reason we know that's okay because the signal after that will be our diversion. So we're going to be diverting after that. Everything will be just fine. So there's our single flashing yellow of blankness. So we're going to be moving into an 80, but we're going to immediately drop to 25 in the siding that we are going to be entering. So we must drop to the 25 as it is the lower of the two. And that's the one that's going to govern us. We're 0.8 of a mile away from the gate entry, so this is not going to be a large enough rate of decrease in order to get down to the 25. We're going to have to increase the rate of descent here. We'll do that as we get a little closer to the gate. This will do the job. Okay, a little bit quicker now. Notice the signal up ahead is yellow right now with a feather junction indicator. Notice for some reason it turns green as we get closer. Again, I believe this is a bug. That shouldn't be changing as you cross an AWS ramp. That is, I believe, a bug. And I can now take the throttle, or take the brake off completely. We're now traveling 25.6 miles per hour as we enter the 25. This is considered within acceptable standards. So we're going to move our way over to the yard section here. We're going to take another left. This feels like a sharp left for 25 miles per hour. I'm just going to say that right now before anything else. So you can see Darlington South Junction Siding 1. Darlington, as we know it in North America, a place of country music. Start the music. Typically about women in the back of pickup trucks and, you know, breakups and things like that. We're going to start hitting the brakes now for our stop here at Darlington South Junction Siding 1, as this is a stop situation for us. Those cars over there are the ones we're going to be picking up, I believe. But first things first, we need to make our stop. So we're going to increase the brake application now as we are now officially in the siding and going fairly decent speed coming in. Continue forward just a little more because the entire train is not in. But as we come in here, now the entire train is in. I'm going to go just a wee bit further and stop right here. So this is going to be our stop request right here. Let's look at the train for a moment as we complete our stop. Good work so far. We've been asked to add a consist of vans to our train that need to be hauled down to Darlington. We're in Darlington, along with the rest of our cargo. That should be them in the sign nearby. So, yeah, we're in Darlington. Incorrect task. Let's check the information. We're dropping off everything that starts with a 7. Oh, wait, we're coupling. We're not dropping anything off. Never mind. We're not dropping a single darn thing off. We're just going to go ahead and check our path up ahead. We're going to couple to those cars after we get onto the path up ahead. Let's make sure our path out of the yard is set. Our path out of the yard appears to be set, but we're not going that way quite yet. So we're going to go ahead and, well, hold on a second. There, that's going to change that signal green. So now our path out of the yard is set, because otherwise we're going to end up on the wrong track here. That would be somewhat embarrassing if we end up on the wrong track. So we're not going to leave yet, though. We're just going to go forward. We're going to pick up these cars, and we're going to back up. So we're going to put the brake man to work here. So here we are on the back of the train. Because we're going to be stopping here, I don't want to make too much speed here. I want to be able to just go back, get our cars, and then leave right away as necessary. So the second track from the left of this group of 4 is the one that's going to merge in. We don't care about the topmost one, the leftmost one, nor the 2 over on the other side that have buffers at the end of them. So we're now past the switch. We should be able to go ahead and change the switch now to head backwards. So notice if I change to 2, that one turns green. If I change to 3, that one turns green. So the signal is automatic with the switch. The yard signal is automatic with the switch. So as I back up here, you're going to see that the shunt signal on the 3rd track, if I go ahead and pop out here, you're going to see that shunt signal is now good. These other 2 are not lit up to show that the junction is not set for them. So we're going to be coming in on this junction. We're going to connect to these cars. We're just going to go ahead and watch that happen. And brakes. There we go. Job done. Reversing point approaching. I don't know what you're talking about. All ready to go. Let's get down to York before we lose our path on the main line. Okay, let's go forward again, please. Yeah, that works. That works. So I don't know what this reversing point approaching thing is saying. We don't have a reversing point back there. What do you mean reversing point? Like, come on. In any case, we are going to get back into the cab. There's the front of our train once again. What we're hauling today. And some sidings starting over here as well. So now that we're back in the main train, we are on our way out. We're going to make our way via up arrival siding gate 1, which means we're going to be arriving at York to take advantage of that. By the way, over here is Darlington. Let's just go through the wall over here for a moment just to show you, because you can see the spire here. And if we go down here, that's Darlington. This is Darlington Station right here. It's pretty dead here today. There's nothing going on here. All lines are red. Nothing's going on. The only activity at Darlington, for some reason, is this train right here, which is us. There's nobody else here. So something wrong with that. There should be trains at Darlington. So I'm going to check the rest of our routing out of here just to make sure all is well. All should be well. There's the path back to the main line. This is actually a manual switch for some reason. But they appear to be set to take us back to the main line, which is exactly what we want. If we end up on this line, we have a problem. because that line curves off into the yard over here and basically takes us where we do not want to go. That would be very, very bad. So we don't want to do that. Yeah, we don't want to do that. So we are on the correct line. We are on our way out of the yard, and we are going to continue our journey to York. We're going to be entering 80 mile per hour section here. Just saw the board for that. We have to wait until our... Actually, no, it's already good. Apparently, our tire train's already passed it, which makes no sense. I don't think we're past the 80 completely yet. We're only getting past it right now. There it is. So we were allowed to speed up before we actually would have normally been allowed to, which is kind of strange. We were allowed to speed up early on that one. Oh well. I am not complaining. So let's take a quick look at the map just to show you what is left of the journey to York for those who may not be familiar with this route. I'm sure a lot of you are, but we'll look anyway. We're making our way past the rest of the Darlington yards down here. They're actually not really labeled yards. I have no idea what these are. These were started, but apparently not completed because there's no yard work that can take place here. There's nothing we can do there. They're just random yards. I don't know what they are. But we're going to continue down the path here. We're going to eventually take a bit of a left. That left is going to take us to another slight bend to the right. It's going to continue a straight path right into North Allerton. This goes past the line that goes to Yarm, which eventually goes to Eagle Cliff. A different way to get there than the one we are passing from Darlington. There's a British local train coming along as well. We're going to have a continued straight path as we go through the next station, which is going to be Thirsk. We're going to have a little curve to the left coming into Thirsk. This is where we had the faulty signal last time. I don't know what's going to happen this time. And then we're going to continue all the way to York from there because York is at the end of the journey. So there it is. That's what's left. So we're going to have some curves to the right before we actually make that turn to the left to take us to York. So we've got a nice quiet journey here heading towards York, which is the last stop of our journey, with a couple of drop-offs here. I'm currently pondering what I want to do next after I finish the East Coast Main Line. Now, because this is my second trip through this part of the scenario, I've already completed the next scenario, so you are going to be seeing the Big Trouble at Tyne Yard scenario. That's an interesting little scenario to have thrown in here. We're going to be spending the time at Tyne Yard, I believe. And after that, we're going to have a special HST scenario that I have not played yet. I'm going to actually probably play that one right after I finish this again. So we're going to have that HST scenario to finish up the current run of scenarios here. I was originally planning that to be a Tuesday release, but because this video that I'm doing now is a two-parter, I decided I'm going to make it the Wednesday release. I'm going to do the Tine Yard video on Tuesday. So I'm going to have both those videos next week. I'm then going to take the day break that I usually do on Thursday. I rarely publish on Thursday unless there's a new route out or something like that. And I'm then going to figure out what I want to do next. I'm leaning towards looking at the BR Classic 455, the old model, only because I've already played those scenarios, intending to show them off before. I've recorded them twice. The first set of recordings, I don't know what happened to them. And the second set, I think, got lost on my hard drive here, my old hard drive. So, yeah, I'm probably going to have to play them for the third time. They're all small scenarios, no longer than half an hour on the Portsmouth Direct Line, the old version. So it wouldn't take a lot of time to redo them. It's really not a problem to redo those. But I also have to get to the class... Oh, I'm speeding. I didn't even notice the speed limit. Whoopsie. I also have to get to the class 159 scenarios, because the class 159 scenarios are the ones that take place on the Riviera line. And they were some of the last scenarios I played before my hard drive went corrupt. So, needless to say, they were definitely lost on the hard drive. And while I could make an attempt to get back into the drive with an enclosure like I suggested I want to do, and I still want to try and do, I could go back and try and grab those videos. The problem would be that they were recorded in Train Sim 22 anyway, before the conversion of Train Sim Classics. So I'm going to just go ahead and redo them. Not a problem. One of the scenarios is a little bit trickier than the others. They're not going to be blind runs, so you're going to know that I've already played them, but we're going to go ahead and enjoy those runs. They're all going to be 1,000-point runs as well, because they're career scenarios in those cases. And the timings are possible, though one is very, very difficult to make. It takes pedal to the metal to be able to pull that one off, and you actually get extra time to make that stop because of a slowdown. So I won't say anything more beyond that. But the timings are makeable in those three scenarios, so I don't have a problem with those scenarios, really. So it should be possible for me to do both of those sets of scenarios at some point. I also have another route I need to show off that I've already visited earlier, and that route also actually did have problems with scenarios beyond point scoring, which made it for a lot of fun, to say the very least. So we're coasting very nicely right now. I have no problem with this. Here's our little curve back to the left. I don't believe we're going to have any more turns at this point up to North Allerton, so we should see North Allerton coming up somewhere in the very near distance, in the very near future. Now, for those of you who have a hard time seeing signals in the distance, and me having 4 eyes, I could make an argument that I'm one of those people. You are able to zoom in, as you may have seen me doing in past videos, so you can see the green signals or red signals a lot earlier, be able to react a lot earlier. So we can see the track moving by a lot slower with our zoomed in view, but as we zoom out, you can see everything goes back to normal speed, just like that. So when you zoom in, everything seems to go slower, but we're actually not going any slower. We're just seeing the stuff that's going slower in the distance. So the distance is what's going slower. It goes faster as you get close to us. We've just kind of zoned that faster part out. So that's why it looks a little different when you zoom in. Don't know why I felt like talking about that, but I did. So you're welcome. I brought that label up just in time. That was one of the local freight services. That's really all that we're having on this drive today. The passenger services don't seem to be out right now, which doesn't make sense. I would have expected to see 1 or 2 passenger services by now. Come on, guys. Where's the passenger services? See some trees loading in the distance. I want to just point out again that I am now playing with maximum draw distance activated. I don't believe the first 3 scenarios I played on this route had that setting in place. It is in place now ever since noticing on Granfield Branch I could probably get some better scenery in the distance, and sure enough, that is exactly what's happening. We have a much better view of the scenery as it comes towards us, a lot less insta-popping. So I'm a lot happier with this. The only thing is we might have a little bit lag further out, but so be it. If it lags further out, it lags further out. I'll deal with that. I just noticed a spot of lag there as we were going. That might be where North Allerton was loading. So the assets in that area probably had a load. If we lollygag out the window here, we can see a road over here. I'm watching for a railway line to join us because that's going to be the indication that we're coming up on North Allerton Station. That line is the one that comes, I should say, from Eagle Cliff. And consequently from Millsboro as well. There's the line. So we're going to be coming up now on North Allerton Station. So having passed now through North Allerton Station, another line opening up to the left, this now becomes a 4-lane track in both directions. There's another track over there that just opened up as well, over on the other side of the road. So that just opened up. Taking a quick look at the map just to show how that was laid out. You can see both lanes came from that road right there. So both lanes came from that route. Another 2 lanes branched off on the actual turn up from North Allerton for the services. But avoiding lines exist, and those avoiding lines are the same ones that form the 4-lane all the way into York at this point. So we're going to have this 4-lane all the way to York. It gives the signalers a lot of flexibility scheduling trains from both busy roads. Like, we're talking London to Brighton levels of track right now. At least in the Croydon area, where London Bridge comes in. Then after that, it's eventually, after a few stations, it goes away as other lines branch off. Well, I never actually sped up for the 125. I should probably do that, shouldn't I? So we're going to start speeding up for 125. We're not going to get to 125. The most we're going to get is probably about 90. But we'll do it anyway. That appears to be a double yellow signal. That tells me that the signal up around the Thirsk area is probably doing the exact same thing it did in my first run of this scenario. So it looks like we have a buggy signal in this scenario, unfortunately. We're going to have to slow down for this red up ahead. Either that or it might be a speed check red, but I'll find out as we get closer. The typical procedure is to stop at the signal and request permission to pass. I hit tab by accident, but you know, it won't do anything yet anyway, so it's fine. I may or may not slow down in time, actually, now that I'm looking at this. Oh, don't gas it. What am I doing the throttle for? So let's see what happens as we cross the AWS ramp up ahead. If we do not get clearance to pass, I'm going to go ahead and just simply request tab to pass immediately. I'm already picking up the phone and contacting the signaler because I was told there might be a signal bug for one of the signals here. It's a buggy signal. We've requested to pass. We are approved to pass. And if we take a closer look at the signal as we come up to it, we're going to see this good old EN444 again. Good old EN444. Always EN444. Every time. Every time. So we're going to go ahead and speed up again. Protocol after passing a signal at danger with permission is to go ahead and treat the next signal as if it could also be red. The problem is that in this situation, we already know the next signal is going to be green, so I'm basically treating it as a green signal. Basically, the signaler told me there's a bug with the switch and treat it as a green signal. So we're going to continue as a green signal. So if we peer ahead here, the next signal should now, and it is a green signal. Now The line going off to the left is probably the line for entry to Thirsk. So if we look over there, we can see Thirsk Station platform starting there. You can see one on the other side as well. So there's a separate Thirsk station on each side. So I assume that there's a station underneath. Must be underground or something like that to allow access. Never actually been to Thirsk Station, so I couldn't tell you. I've never been to any of these stations, actually, so I couldn't really tell you any of that. So our zoom is expanded again. We can see two signals ahead once again clearly. We're still heading to up arrival siding gate 101. And we are less than 20 miles away, 19 and a half to be specific. I expect this journey to take at least maybe another 15 minutes, including the drop-off, at least the first drop-off. And then we're going to be, by then we should be pulling into the second drop-off. The scenario started at 15:10. Since I cut off the first scenario at about, I want to say around the same time, an hour later, 16:10 or in that range, 16:05, 16:10. These two parts should equivalent out to about the same length of time. I think it was a 57-minute video when I was looking at the preview. And that means that we have a little over an hour left here. So it's going to be slightly longer for this video perhaps, but we're going to get the rest of the journey in. So I'm expecting this to be about a 70-minute run here from where we started to where we finish. We're getting back up to 75 miles per hour. When we reach 90 miles per hour, that'll mean we're going about 1.5 miles per minute. When we go 1.5 miles per minute, that means we will be taking out this remaining, I'm going to say about 17 miles in about 11, 12 minutes. There's a service over there, 1450 British freight, so that service has been going now for about 2 hours. It's not done yet. We're only going to be 2 hours, and we will be done. In fact, if you want to know what the name of our train is, let's turn on F6 here for a second. We are 1511 British freight, so there we go. We are also a named British freight service. So we're now across the 80 mile per hour point here. We're going to be moving slowly upward at this point because I don't think we're going to really get far past 90, if even 90. I fully expect the junctions to be set against us when we arrive, so I'm going to have to check those junctions at York when we get there. You ask the yard hand to help you out a little bit, and what they do, they don't really do anything for you. In real life, they want to be in control of who goes where. So we've inched our way up to 85 miles per hour. We're continuing to creep upwards just a little bit more. Both lanes have a green signal. That is interesting. Our speed continues to creep up. We're now at 88 miles per hour, and we seem to be going extremely slow in increase right now. So this might be where our locomotive caps out. 90 might be the locomotive's limit. I think I might treat 90 as the locomotive's limit. We only have 10 miles left anyway, so there's no point really going too much more than that. It'll actually make it harder for us to slow down with all this freight. So we're going to treat 90 as our limit for the day. Just to show you now on the map where we are located, we are presently just past a siding that right here for the Darlington sidings. We just passed that location. So Darlington has its portals for AI services as well. We still have a little ways to go here. We have to continue down past a line coming in from Harrogate. This is the Harrogate Loop. This is actually a separate route available as a freeware route. It is available on on Alan Thompson Sim as well as on Track Simulation. It can be found in both locations. The Harrogate Loop does come through the York area here, so you are able to take that. That is the last track we're going to see merging in. At that point, we're going to be arriving at York Station. You can see there's going to be another split in some tracks here as we come in as well for some reason, as we make our way to the Skelton area. The Skelton Junction, I believe, is what that's called. Our speed has roughly capped out. We got to 89.6 and it kind of stalled. Going to 89.7, 89.8. We seem to be stuck at 89.8. So as I said, 90 appears to be our limit. And that's fine. Let's poke our head out the window and look at this house going by. Another set of houses going by. Oh! Bridge. Bridge almost hurt me. Oh, lots of room. Never mind. There's a factory over there. Very nice. We're currently 4.4 miles away from up arrival siding gate 1. We're getting a warning of a flashing double yellow signal. So this is the part at which I'm going to go ahead and start slowing down, because we're going to be getting down to 25 in a gosh darn hurry. This serves as our flashing single yellow. Have we passed the Harrogate Loop entry? No, we have not. Harrogate Loop is still coming up. So we're going to eventually need to check our junctions up ahead. We're going to be getting ourselves down to 50 for right now. But we need to check our junctions as we come to the gate entry. We should be good to the gate entry, I believe, at this point. Should be showing up on the HUD very, very soon, actually. Okay. So there's our yellow that turned green for our access into the yard again. We're going to eventually have a 30 and a 15 as we come to the yard we need to stop at. That's the up arrival siding gate 1. Let's check the actual place we need to pull in. We don't have a signal quite yet, so we should be alright. Let's zoom back into where we are, maybe. There we are. So we're passing the Skelton Junction right now. We're going to be pulling into the yard right here, arrival gate. That's exactly where we're going to be. We want to go to arrival siding 1, which is this siding right here, the top yellow siding on the right. We have a blue line right into there, so we are okay entering. That's not where I want to go. We're okay entering the arrival siding. We're going to continue out of that siding into the York siding 22, York siding 22, which is where? It is right here. That's the siding we want to enter. The second one from the top, not the extreme top, this top. That's where we're going to go, and I think our line is correct for all of our access points at this stage, so I'm just going to go ahead and drive and not worry about anything else. Everything is all good. The blue line says you're good to go, and gosh darn it, we're good to go. So I'm going to start dropping for the 30, but I'm really going to actually start dropping with a 15 more than the 30 because it's only about a little over a tenth of a mile away, 1.5 tenths of a mile away there or so is the difference. So we're going to be looking at the 15, not the 30. Yep, you can see both points of our remaining part of our journey coming up here, so this should not be an issue for anything here. Starting that slowdown now. We're maintaining a green signal. Actually, I'm way too slow on the brakes this time. So we're going to go ahead and bring that down in a hurry because I did not do that quickly enough. That was my fault. I was spending too much time looking around. That was entirely on me. But we are going to get down to the 15 in time. We just made it. We just made it to the 15. If there's a place I want to go faster, it's inside one of these really long, slow yellow sidings. These are where I really want to go faster, because I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing, let me drive. Darn it. Take a look at that sign that we just passed under. You can see all the signs, the signals going in the other direction on the main line. That's what those are. And all the shunt signals that say they're ready to go as well, interestingly enough. The blinking white shunt signals. They're blinking, they're white, and they're shunt signals. Get yours today and shunt happily, wherever you may be. Get your shunt signal. I'll stop. On the subject of music, I actually have been looking at the YouTube creator section. I actually need to start downloading all the music in there because it's all free music and it's all music we're allowed to use on YouTube live streams. I don't know about Twitch yet. They might still copyright strike us on Twitch for using it. I'll have to look into that, but for when I start streaming. But I need to start listening to some of that music and see what I like and start planning ahead for when I do live streams. I'm not doing any yet, but I have to plan ahead for when I do. So that signal you're seeing on the HUD is not actually a signal, so we're going to disregard that. That's just an indication that we have a junction coming up in some cases. This is one of those cases. Let's look at our train for a moment. Good run, well done. Okay, grammar. Now, these vans don't have a destination yet, so we need to drop them here. Once complete, we'll hop over the main York Yard and be done with the rest of our train. Alrighty. So, we want to go ahead and drop those vans here. Let's pop outside the train for just a moment here and go down here. Oop, that's not where we want to go. That's too far. This is about, I believe, where we want to stop right here if we hit our numbers. There we go. So if we check the task, anything with the 755 on it and 756 can go away. Anything with an 873 on it cannot go away. We must take it further. So 755-911 is the first one. We are good to go by, first of all, making sure we are able to move right away so we don't recouple to this thing like we did earlier. And off we go. Stop this. It did it again. Why is it just automatically recoupling everything here? I don't get it. Away we go. This game wants you to fail sometimes, apparently. This game demands failure. Fun times. So we're going to make our way to York Siding 22 at this point. We're going to finish this job up right here. The red signal that you saw ahead actually was our signal. It just changed to green to allow us to enter York siding 22. We are speeding. Whoopsie. Yeah, I didn't account for the fact that we're lighter now. Okay, I'm gonna get lots of speeding penalties. I think I'm gonna get sent to the principal's office on this one, unfortunately. So I'll be lucky if I drive again after this one, but at least you're gonna have a video for Tuesday. So right now we're just going to cruise at our casual 15 miles per hour. We're going to stop inside the yellow. We're going to call it a day. Because it's 5:12 normal time in the evening right now. As winter calls it in summer, you would call it a lovely afternoon. Oh, wait a minute. That's what you call rain. Never mind. Never mind. That's a lovely afternoon. Rain showers. That's right. A beautiful day. Beautiful for flowers, at least, I guess. In any case, we're going to be taking another turn to the left here. All the lines, I think, are going to go to the left, but we're going to take that left and arrive in York siding 22. Underneath York siding 23, which is the one that is above us, and to our left, therefore, as we split apart from it. But we're not there yet. You can see the line does end ahead. Quick exploration of the map will show you that our line does indeed go into this area and end right here. You can loop back onto the main track if I wanted to. I could actually just hit this and this, and all of a sudden I'm now able to loop back onto the main track and go around as I wish. The problem is I get myself in trouble and I can't do that. So the HUD still says I'm going to stop, which is kind of funny because I don't remember. Oh, wait a second. I know why. I didn't do this. So now if I do this, the HUD says I can continue. Congratulations, I've extended my journey. I like it better than having the end of route marker at the end of the journey if I have the ability to prevent that. So I will do that. So we're just pulling up fully into the siding here. You can see the task is no longer ahead of me. It is behind me. We're going to go ahead and stop right here because that is far enough. This is the point where the track tries to rejoin us. So we're going to get ready to end this scenario before we drop off the cars. Let's take a look at our train as we get ready to finish. So we're going to finish our drop-off here as soon as we're allowed to, and once we're done that, that's going to be the scenario. So I'm just going to say for now, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel. You can also join my Discord server. I am Cyclone. And we're going to wait for permission to drop off these cars. So after we get that permission, we'll do that, and we'll be done. So, okay, let's get these uncoupled, then get the loco to its stop for the night. We're not going to take the loco to its stop for the night. They're going to do that for us. So I'm going to go ahead and just bring up the HUD, and we're going to go ahead and complete the drop-off off camera, and then we'll go ahead and we'll take a look at the ending message as we wrap up the video. So I will see you there in a second as we do that. Well done. You delivered all the freight and with time to spare. We didn't have a timetable. We'll be signing you up for the hopper regularly, I think. Okay, that's that. So again, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned for the Tyne Yard video next time. Big trouble is going to be happening in Tyne Yard. And we don't know what's going on yet. I mean, I do, but we don't know what's going on yet. When I played the scenario, I actually was playing it blind. So it will be a blind playing of that scenario coming up. And that is going to be following on the playlist. If a few days have passed since this video came up, you will see it on the playlist. And you'll be able to stay tuned for that in just a moment. So again, I'm Cyclone. Have a wonderful day, evening, night, whatever it is for you. You're part of the world. I will see you for Big Trouble in Tyne Yard, followed by the HST scenario a day later. Stay tuned for the first of those videos in 3, 2, 1.